All right, so my name is Abhishek, and I have been with Adobe for the last 4.5 years. And the reason why I'm here today is a lot of you are going ahead with the next step, right? You're applying for universities, you're applying for jobs. Now, you need something that will actually help you out to get ahead of others. To be honest, there are thousands and thousands who are engineers, there are doctors everywhere, and you have to be in that race, right? Now, what I'm going to showcase you today is not the entire product, but what you can do with Adobe products. Before I do that, there's just a small thing I want to talk about, a small story. I grew up in a family where my dad was in Ministry of Defense. He's an Army guy. My brother-in-law is an Army guy. And everybody in my family was doing an MBA. I don't know what was that. Everybody wants to do an MBA. So MBA in finance, MBA in marketing, MBA in sales. And as I completed my 12th, the same thing happened with me to my dad. Like, your sister's done an MBA. You have to do an MBA. And I was not interested. Now, I know a lot of you might relate this. You have been pushed to do something which you don't want to do it, and there's something you want to do, but whenever you talk about it, you get all negative feedbacks and views from everyone. So I basically was a computer gamer, and I loved the way the gaming characters were developed. I was into graphics, so I wanted to know how these things were made. And my aim was to become a freelance graphic designer, which I have succeeded as of now. That's a good thing. So whenever I started doing my graphic design, just by, my dad got a computer. I had the first version of Photoshop where I only had one layer. So I was to work on this Photoshop and start making things. And I spoke to my dad, you know what, Dad, I want to get into the design firm. I want to be a graphic designer. And he was like, no, you have to do an MBA, or you have to be an engineer, or you need to get into the Indian Army. I said, that's okay, but I don't want to do that. Yes, I do want to get into the Indian Army, but I could not make it. So what I did, and I would tell you this, but you guys swear on me you will not repeat what I did, all right? So what I did is I actually started working in a call center to earn money. The reason I want to earn money is because I met this amazing graphic designer from Singapore, and he told me that, you know what, if you come down to Singapore, I can actually help you and give you all the skills that you need to follow your dream. So I worked hard, and I ran away from my house. So yeah, that is. So I ran out of my house, I ran to Singapore, got my visa done, everything was done. I was under this guy. His name is David Smith, and he's a very well-known graphic designer there. He has his own studio there. And I had been doing, and he taught me a lot of things. Now, back at my home, it was a complete FBI thing happening. Where did that guy go? Because Dad, being an army, he's trying to find out. There were cops at the airport, at the immigration, where the person was. Luckily, or I'm not sure why, but then Dad's like, okay, fine, let him do what he wants to do. So after 6.5 months, or probably a year, I came back. And what I had was the power of these Adobe tools. Now, everybody must have heard about Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign. Now, do you actually know that Photoshop is not just a tool to go ahead and create amazing pictures for Facebook? Telling you it is not. It is much more than that. So what I'm going to showcase you is a couple of tools that you do. And whenever you go ahead, or whenever you go ahead with to get more jobs, or speak to different people, you need to carry a set of your portfolios. Now, these portfolios can be your own design works if you are a design guy. It could be your biggest assets or achievements that you have got through your entire life. So unfortunately, I don't have a setup here. I don't know why. So I have to go back to the machine right over there. And I will be showcasing you certain products right from there, but you will not be looking back there. You have to look on the stage right over here, all right? All right, so I'm going back now, and let me just showcase you certain products that we have for you, which will actually help you guys to go ahead and achieve what you want in your life, because Adobe is there to help you out. It's there to make sure that you get what you want, no matter what field. Could be an engineer, could be a doctor, could be a graphic designer, could be into government or into politics. So here we are. And I would want the screen to be projected. All right, so this session that I have over here is generally talking about what kind of resumes that you generally want or generally want to make. Now, we have always seen those cliché of resumes, right? Now, where you have this Word document, right on top, you have something with your name, your address, and then you have the entire history, which also includes your marks. Now, is it actually required? That is my biggest question. Yes, it is required when your job actually, or your invitation, or your application actually involves these things. But how about doing something in which you just highlight certain points without even taking the time of the guy who's actually going through your resume? Now, resumes or the cover letters are the biggest thing which will help you to actually gain what you are. It will help you to give you that edge over the others where you can actually go ahead and grab that one job that you're dying to get for. Now here, if you see this tool that I have over here, and in case you're not able to see that clearly, I can just zoom in a bit, and yes, that is Photoshop, guys. So yeah, Photoshop is the tool which I have used to design certain things here. And what I've done over here is, if I just come down over here, so that is my curriculum vitae, which talks about what is actually my forte in which design segment, what I've done, or my education. Next thing that we have is a cover letter. Now, we all know what a cover letter is. A cover letter is not your biodata. It is not your resume. You are not writing about your experience that is you have done or gained throughout life in a cover letter. You would be actually going ahead and talking about the things that you have learned, or the things that you know that are your forte in your job application. So the next thing I want to talk about is what we generally talk about is a cover letter. Now, if you see this cover letter, I am just telling it that to whomsoever it may be concerned, I have actually gone ahead and let me just zoom in a bit right over here. Let me just zoom out a little bit so that it fits the screen. I think that's perfect. All right. So I've just mentioned that, yes, I can do it. And since I know what I'm applying for, I would just put those points which will the person who's actually evaluating my resume will know that, yes, this is what exactly I'm looking for. And this is exactly what I want from the user or the applicant. So I've just put those details right over here, which talks about my interest, which is in branding, in media campaign, which is in art direction, the creative solution, the digital publishing, and the graphic design, print, and typography. So that is what my forte is, and that is exactly what I've written. And if you see, it is not the entire page that I've covered. It is just very basic thing I've done. Now, the major or the most important thing whenever you design a cover letter or a resume is to make sure why you're making that. Is it just to make sure that you get the jobs, that is all? To be very honest, I've also worked with an HR company within Adobe itself, and I really want to tell you one more thing, that whenever we see cover letters and we see a lot of templatized cover letter which is not specific to something, we know that the guy or the girl is actually looking for jobs from any random place. So that is why there is no specific mentions or anything. In case you want to achieve what you want, you have to be specific. You have to go down, drill down, and find what you want from that particular job and apply only those relevant things on a CV. That is the reason I've put those things here. Yeah, even though I do not want to leave Adobe because I'm quite happy over here. But yeah, this is just to showcase what you can do. And if you see, this entire thing is been done in Photoshop. So I'm actually doing this entire content directly in Photoshop by just adding text and colors. And that is all about it when I want to go ahead and make designs or anything that I want. Now, there are very different kind of resumes. If you just go online and Google it out and say creative resumes, you can actually get thousands of examples of how people are going ahead and making those resumes right out of tools. What Adobe does is to make sure that whoever is in the education segment, it could be a student, it could be a teacher, it could be a university, they can actually use the power of Adobe tools to not only create curriculum for them, but also create a way to go ahead and make sure a student is right out there and he can steal the show out of the others. The next tool I'm going to showcase you that will help me to actually create, or if I go further down, this is what my resume will look like. So I have mentioned a little bit of information about myself. I am a little creative guy, so I don't want to be on specific. So I've just written something that I want, what I've done, where I'm hailing from. So that is what I am actually planning to do that. Now, this is not a complete resume. It is just to showcase you how all the power of Adobe tools are there to help you out. If you have something in your mind, you can actually use that directly with the help of Adobe to put it online. OK, so Next thing that we have over here is another tool, which is the InDesign. Now, this is another tool that I have in which I am also actually working out the same principle of creating something or a resume that I want to go ahead and showcase to the end result or to the person who's actually trying to interview me, so that he knows where am I coming from and what I'm actually looking for in a tool. So there it is. It says the future of business is me, because that's one line I want to catch, and I want to make sure anybody who's actually looking into my profile knows what I'm actually doing here. Similarly, who am I, what I do, my experience, and if I just scroll down to the next pages, I have the set of information mentioned right over here. Now you see, this is not Microsoft Word. This is not that basic page resume that you do, because if you send those resume, to be honest, they will just lie down, and you would feel that you are one of those applicants who have just applied for the sake of it. Now, in case anybody of you has an experience in using Adobe tools, you know how easy the tools are. You know how easy you can go ahead and create it. Next thing is, with the same kind of tools, I am now able to conquer the new digital wave that is there. Everybody is using a smartphone. Everybody is using a tablet. Everybody is using an iPad. If you don't have an iPad, if you don't have a smartphone, you know that people just look down upon you, isn't it? And that's the one reason you just keep on Googling and finding out what is a new device that is out, and I want that device. Now, just to make sure that whatever you do is not only for print, it's not only to make a PDF and send it across, you can now carry that strong portfolio of yours directly on your mobile device. Now, I'm going to connect my mobile device to my laptop itself, which will just take a couple of minutes. I'm going to showcase you how I'm not only actually carrying out these tools, but also going ahead and making sure that I would be taking this entire content directly on my tablet device. So while I connect, I want you guys to think about certain questions that you want to ask me, because I will be coming up on the stage after I showcase this thing that I have. So let me just try to go ahead and connect it once again. All right, so it has been done. I'm just connecting my Wi-Fi, so the Wi-Fi gets connected right here. And it is connecting. Let me just bring up my tool. All right. All right, so here I come, and I'm just going ahead and trying to mirror. There you go. So I've just mirrored my iPhone, which is there on the screen right in front of you. And I'm going to showcase you how I have actually gone ahead and taken this entire content or my own portfolio resume directly on my mobile phone. So if I come to my Behance portfolio, it is actually a set of instructions and tools that I have for my account. I know it's quite small in size. It might be a little difficult for you to identify. Let me just try to zoom in a bit. I think that is better now. So there you go. So I am actually carrying this entire content right with me, and here I can actually see what I've done. And with the help of Photoshop and InDesign, I'm actually carrying a set of my own work or the portfolio work directly along with my resume in my phone or in any device. Now, in case you're applying abroad, in case you're traveling abroad and you happen to meet some education guys online in a flight or airport, wherever you go, you are right there in front of them to showcase your work. You are not hoping that you will write your portfolio website or you'll write what you have achieved in a piece of paper, hand it over to him, and expect him to go back after a 15-hour flight and try to remember you. You have to utilize that moment that comes to you right in front of you, where you can go ahead and make sure that you pitched yourself correctly. And this is what exactly I have. So if you see, all my work is directly there in my smartphone. I can carry my entire work. I can also showcase what I've done with my works. If I click on this particular file, it just opens up and says how I've created that actual content right from the first image to my next image and goes ahead. Now, this is not only for designers. This is also for people who have achieved something in any field. So that is what the Adobe tools are offering you guys, and I'm sure you would definitely love it. In case you want to get more details about the Adobe tools, you can always visit the adobe.com and it will help you that.